Hi, welcome back. I'm Darian, and today we are going to be talking about the proper technique for setting up your left hand on the violin. So I hope you're ready. We're not going to need any bows, but we're going to have a good time just talking about how to safely and healthily play with a good left hand technique. So, left hand technique might seem like a very basic idea, but it's extremely important. It is the basis for any effective shifting and smooth string crossings, and it is extremely important so that you play the violin in a healthy way and not injure yourself. So before we pick up our violin, I want you to stretch out your arm to where it's parallel to the floor. And then I want you to flip your palm up, and I want you to bend your elbow while keeping a straight line from your hand to your elbow. And I want you to rotate and bring your elbow in as if you were going to cross it in front of your body. But we're going to stop about where we would be placing our violin on our shoulders. We never want to see a bent wrist like this, which is very common. It's a very common mistake. Or here, or any other funky version of this. But we want to keep a straight arm because this is how we would be playing the violin. And then I want you to check for this nice U shape. Our hands should be very relaxed and nimble. All right, and this thumb, the tip of your thumb, should be about across from the base knuckle of your forefinger. This is where the neck of the violin is going to be placed, right in between this U. All right, and then just so you get an idea of placing your finger and how relaxed it can be, I recommend tapping your finger to your thumb, having a nice bridge shape. You can tap all your fingers. Essentially, when you play the violin, we'll be tapping not your thumb, but the neck of the violin on the fingerboard. But this relaxed motion is what you should be aiming for when you're placing your fingers down. So now we have our violins out, and we're going to start the same way. We're going to reach our arm out, we're going to rotate our palm upwards, and you're going to bring your arm along the neck of the violin. And we're going to stop in first position, all right? And if you look, this is very relaxed, nothing's squeezing. You should feel very secure with where your violin is on your shoulder, because we are not holding anything with our left hand. We are not holding the violin up. We are not squeezing anything. The thumb should be very loose. You should be able to tap it. And these fingers should be ready to play. No squeezing. And if you look here, we still have our U shape, and we should have enough space so that we could stick a pencil through here if we wanted to. All right. So now that our hand is on the violin, we want to make sure our thumb is an inch away from the nut, which is right here. We don't want to be squeezing towards the back of the neck or too far forward since we're in first position. All right, and you can have a nice rounded shape as we're about to place our first finger. Again, remember, do not squeeze your thumb. All right, and we are rotating and have a loose elbow. We don't want to have it too far forward and create tension, or too far back, because then we lose the shape and our thumb is incredibly high. And I recommend keeping it, again, across from that base knuckle here. So if you take this line and rotate it towards the neck, you should be able to place your first finger, and then your second on a C sharp, and then your third, and then your fourth. And again, you can see I have a very nice bridge curve to all my fingers. You want to play on the tip of your finger on the pads. This is a good time to also recommend not having long fingernails. This would be very difficult, and we will probably have an improper form if you have long fingernails. So keep them short and make sure everything's curved. We don't want any tension. If you have tension, your fingers might collapse like this, and you cannot play effectively that way. So again, make sure everything's really loose and that you can tap your fingers like we did to our thumb. Let the weight of the finger drop down and just make sure everything's loose. We just double check where your wrist is at and make sure our elbow is nice and loose as well. I recommend doing this every day and coming to this position without much thought and looking at this in a mirror. A mirror is going to be your best friend if you're teaching yourself or trying to improve your form on your own. So look at the mirror, be really tough on yourself and really picky. You want good form and nice relaxed form, nothing should hurt. But yes, that is the basics to a good left hand form. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I look forward to seeing your comments or seeing a like for my next video. But I hope this was helpful. Have fun practicing.